Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Black Screen Hoodoo. My name is Stacy. I'm going to be your host for today, as always. And I wanted to, showcase stories that, go into detail about hoodoo and, you know, actual things that happen here to my family and to friends. But everything is located down here in Mississippi. All right, so this particular episode is called You Scratch My Back, I Scratch Yours. And I want to tell it just to showcase that even though the very first story that I told was it was probably very scary because it's about a woman who literally sent a spirit to take the life of a newborn child just so that she could get some penis, right? So, but I wanted to show that not all things are bad when it comes to hoodoo. Now, I do want to apologize. There is a very severe thunderstorm going on in my area right now. So if you happen to hear a clap of thunder or some rain or something to that effect, I do apologize. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the story. Now, this happened back in 2022. I was actually working at a hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, even though I live in Mississippi. A lot of people just drive over state line if it's not that far from their home. And it was about a 45-minute drive, there, 45-minute drive back. So at this hospital, I worked in the pharmacy department. However, this hospital had a pharmacy department located directly in the emergency room. Now, not all hospitals have this particular, setup, but they did here. Their goal was to just make sure that every single patient that was discharged from the emergency room was able to leave with medication in hand. Because, more often than not, you may be sent home with like a very expensive medication, right? And you can't pick up that medication. You end up even more sick and you come back to the emergency room a week later, and they really wanted to cut down on that. It's a great idea. Great idea. The downfall with that is that insurance will do what insurance does, and they may not give really good kickbacks. And sadly, that is what was happening with this particular pharmacy. Now, the people that I worked with, they were, oh my goodness, they were great. They were absolutely sweet. Okay. It was two ladies and one guy. One lady who was like the pharmacy manager, I'll call her Lisa. Lisa was as sweet as she could be. She was very understanding if you had any issues where you could not come into work or anything of that nature, short notice. She was not a micromanager. Like, she told you what to do, and as long as you got it done, she had no issue with that, right? And then I guess you would call them second in command. Anyway, the other pharmacist, we're going to call him Bob. Okay. Bob was cool dude, talked about movies. He was a really big gamer. He really cared about patients, right? Like, he would really go into detail with every single patient about their medication. You could tell he wasn't just there for, you know, easy money. Okay. He put a lot into his job. He was always researching stuff and things of that nature. Really liked him. And the other lady, we are going to call her Tiffany. Okay. Tiffany was also same thing, sweet as she could be. She would do whatever work she was supposed to do. And if something happened on the off chance that she could not finish the work that she was supposed to finish, she would, give a detail about it as to why, if she did start it, things of that nature, whatever. But the one thing about all three of these people, like, in addition to them just being nice and just being sweet, every single one of them did something for me without me having to ask. Something that truly helped me out. All right. And that is really, really important. So I need you to understand that when it comes to you, The listener, the viewer, when it comes to your day to day, I need you to be as nice and at the least, just be respectful to the people that you interact with on a daily basis or pretty consistently. Like if you're working, at a job or volunteering or something to that effect, okay? You have got to make sure that you are nice because there is a possibility, especially down here in the South, that you may work with someone that is like me. And if you work with someone that is like me, that knows what I know and can do what I can do, this will go one of two ways. You will either end up blessed by me or you will end up cursed by me. Because one thing for certain, if you scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours. And if you talk about me behind my back, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna curse you. That's it. Period. Point blank. I don't. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, but it's going to come back on you threefold, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. Okay. That's Wicca. I don't practice Wicca. I practice Hoodoo. All right. And you got to be careful because we really don't have a code of ethics when it comes to Hoodoo. Okay. Because we don't worship a god in Hoodoo. That we just don't. There are a multitude of spirits that you can work with, but not an actual god. So, if you piss me off and if you catch me on a bad day, if I'm PMSing or something like that, ain't no telling what might happen. So I just suggest that you are nice to everyone moving forward. And if that person is just rude to you or whatever, just, stand back, throw your hands up, and just be like, whatever. All right. Anyway, so back to this particular story. When I say all three of them did something that truly helped me, what happened was that this was like in, COVID was wild and all right, all of that. So I had a situation where I was out for I think we were getting like 2 weeks off at that time for COVID. And I didn't even test positive, right? I was just exposed, and the hospital was like, well, you get 2 weeks off paid. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not finna fight that. So so I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gone. Peace out. And they were like, oh, okay. But they were constantly checking up on me. And they even sent food to my house. All right. Like the three of them got together and sent food to my house. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I got y'all. All three of you, I got you. So moving towards the end of 2022, I had gone up to inpatient pharmacy. Now, those of you that work in a hospital, especially a hospital with a really high bed count, you will know that there are multiple types of pharmacies in one hospital. So in this hospital, you had the emergency room pharmacy, you had satellite pharmacy, you had the sterile compounding pharmacy, you had outpatient pharmacy, and then you had just your regular inpatient pharmacy. All right. So I ended up going up to inpatient pharmacy, and I was up there doing something, I don't know, probably getting some meds, something like that. And I got a pool. And when you are in this type of lifestyle, you will get a pull or an urge to do something. And it may come across as weird. You're like, oh my God, why do I have this pull? But whatever. I got the pull, so I did it. So the pull that I got was to go toward the back of the pharmacy over to the right. And that is where all of the controlled medications were kept. And they also keep beer back there, things like that, for patients that are coming off of, withdrawal, or having withdrawal symptoms. You can't just do cold turkey, right? Well, I go back there in the back and there is a sheet of paper sticking out of the shred box. It's not all the way down. Well, this is what I was led here for, right? So I take the paper, I pull it out, and I'm reading it. And this letter that this person was supposed to shred, and they did not, was an email sent to the pharmacy director from the CFO. And they were saying how the pharmacy department, the pharmacy department in the emergency room, sorry about that, the ED pharmacy, was not generating the money that they needed it to generate. We were like hemorrhaging money, and they need to figure out what to do because they are going to shut the emergency room pharmacy down, and they do not see them being able to give jobs to the 4 people that ran that pharmacy. So of course that was me, Lisa, Tiffany, and Bob. All right, so I saw it was supposed to be shredded, so I went ahead and put it in there and shredded it, because I didn't need somebody coming around and being like, oh crap, I wonder who saw this, whatever, freaking out. So I go back to work, everything is fine. That night though, I'm like, okay, so I'm told ahead of time because of my ancestors that I need to go ahead and do some work so that I continue to have a job, right? All right, well, that's cool. So I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, I know what I'm going to do for me, but what could I possibly do for them? Because I'm not going to let them just be kicked out on their ass without a job, right? I'm not going to do that, okay? They've been good to me. I already told y'all, okay? They scratched my back, so I'm going to scratch theirs, all right? So I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do because, again, we all talked, okay? Lisa had said on more than one occasion that there was another job that she wanted. She wanted to go work for a different company, like altogether. Like she wanted to move away from the pharmacy department, like the pharmacy field, pharmaceutical field. She wanted to move away from pharmacy and get into a completely different career. And Tiffany was talking about the hours. Like the hours were really not working out well for her because she was the sole caregiver at that time to her mother and her brother. Both of them, I think her brother was like, it wasn't a nursing home, but then he was brought back home, and then, she had her mom to take care of. Same thing with her mother. The hours just were not working out well for her. And when it came to Bob, he always talked about the outpatient pharmacy and how they were not really running things the way that they should have been ran, right? How he would have done this and he would have done that. And he had really, really, I mean, he was correct. Shit, that's all I can say. The man was right, okay? Bob was right. Like, he should have been running the outpatient pharmacy. And I'm like, okay, so I know what all 3 of them want, so I need to do the work so that they get what it is that they want, okay? Oh, again, y'all, I'm sorry. This thunderstorm has gotten really bad, so you may start really hearing some stuff in a minute. I do apologize for that. Okay, but anyway, so when it comes to Hoodoo, if we have something that belongs to someone else, right, it's called a personal concern, okay? And, back in the day, we're talking like slavery, early 1900s, really on up until about maybe the early 2000s. There would be hair, nails, stuff like that. But now it's really kind of hard to get someone's nails, right? Really kind of hard to get someone's hair. You can still get things on people, okay? Like every time someone comes to my house, I will serve them, water or something like that in a paper cup if I feel like I may need to hold on to it because I don't know, I may need to bless them later, right? Or they may do something to make me feel like I got to get a little froggy. All right, may have to jump. So, I will hold on to it. In this situation, there was absolutely nothing that I could get. Okay, it was nothing that I could get. Like I just couldn't. And I'm like, man, I really need something of theirs. Like I can do it without the personal concern, but man, if I had the personal concern, I could really make it work. Then it dawned on me. Every single morning, we would have to do like an inventory of certain medications. After we did an inventory of that particular medication, we would have to sign off on it, right? And I'm like, God damn it, I can use their signature because their signature is a personal concern. Well, my birthday had just passed. They had given me a birthday gift with a birthday card, and all of them had signed it. I had their signatures right then and there. So I went home, okay, and since this is a good working, I will tell you what I did in this working. When it comes to baneful workings, I will not tell you solely because I don't want you to mess up because they normally involve more than what I say. But if it's a good working, I'll tell you. So I'll let you know what I did. So I went home that night and I got that birthday card. I made a copy of it, So I had their 3 individual signatures. And I just cut it out, put it over to the side. Now, for Lisa, I actually wrote out a 2-week notice. And I just want to thank you, for giving me this opportunity with this employer. I really do appreciate it, yada, 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 yada. But I have found something that works better for me, and it's a larger opportunity. I cannot risk giving it up. I have to go. I have to accept this opportunity. I can't let it get out of my grasp. Then I took her signature. I stuck it to the bottom of the paper. When it came to Bob, I did the exact same thing except for him. I wrote an acceptance letter saying, hi, we want to offer you this position as manager in the outpatient pharmacy, yada, 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 all the lingo that goes with it. And on one end, at the very bottom, I put, if you accept, sign here. And I put his signature there. I did the exact same thing with Tiffany. Hi, we want to change the hours, your shift hours. We hope we hope that these new hours that you presented to us work out for you. If you accept these hours, please sign here. I put her signature there. I got 3 individual jars because I didn't want to mix them in together, okay? I got 3 individual jars. I added sugar, right, to make things sweet. I added flowers, okay, just to make things beautiful. This is beautiful. This is what you want, okay? I added perfume, a very sweet. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm so country. A very sweet smelling perfume. I just did a few sprays inside the bottle, along with ginger to kind of speed things up a little bit, right? And then I put each of their letters in the individual jars, closed them up, shook them. I took a candle. I anointed the candles with some compelling oil that I already had, just to compel them. To compel that particular working, have it work and all that, and some blessed oil. I did that. I wrote their names on each candle, lit every single one, went on about my business. I stepped off to the side and did something extra for me, but I knew exactly what they wanted. So that is what I did for them, right? I came back, because when I do something like that, I normally do taper candles, chime candles. I'm sorry. The taper candles are a lot larger. I normally do like the little chime candles. So it takes like maybe an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours tops, for it to burn. I left. When I came back, the candles had melted completely. Now, while the candles were burning, the flame was very strong, right? So I'm like, oh, yep, this working is working. That's good. Lisa, Bob, and Tiffany, they are all going to get what they want. When the candles burnt down, I looked at every single candle, and every single one in the wax, there was a woman that was pregnant in every single wax, on every single candle. In every single situation, it had melted off to the right side. Well, bam, they got their job, right? So I'm like, they got what they want. Everything is fine. So, I went back to work, treating everything good. Now, I know what's happening. They don't, but I do. Sure enough, about maybe 3 weeks later, we get a call on a Friday. They're like, hi, Will y'all shut down the pharmacy for a moment and please just, come up to HR. We need to speak with every single one of you. Okay, cool. Now, of course, they're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, did somebody complain? What is this? What's going on? Blah, blah. And I'm just skipping, right? And they were, oh my God, gal, if I could have recorded this, the looks that they were giving me, like they were all nervous. And I'm just like, yeah, everything's fine. Come on. Because I know the work that I did, right? I know they fit to be blessed. I know I'm fit to be blessed. I'm not going to be blessed and just leave y'all hanging out there because y'all, took care of me. So let's just go on to this HR department. So we get there. They pull us in one at a time. And, after they pull us in one at a time, they then, ask us to stay, remain in HR. So we remain in HR. Once they talk to every single one of us, they tell us, hey, we're so sorry. It's really not getting money the way that we were supposed to. We're going to have to shut it down immediately. This is a Friday. Saturday will be your last day working with us. We will contact you on Monday morning regarding severance packages. Okay? So when we all went back to work, like the three of them are just so upset. They're so distraught. They don't know what to do, right? And I get it, right? Because they didn't know what was happening. As I said before, they didn't know that they had, this country ass black woman working with them that, what I'm saying, did working on their behalf to make sure they were good to go. So they're freaking out. And I'm just like, man, y'all want some Chick-fil-A? I really want some chicken. Let's go get some Chick-fil-A because the KFC was too goddamn far. I wasn't for the drive that far. So I went and got everybody Chick-fil-A. They were still upset. Saturday, upset again. And Saturday night when we were leaving, they're trying to give hugs. They're like, I'm going to miss you. I wish this. And I'm like, y'all, I'm like, this is just a vacation. We'll be back in a week. They're like, what you mean we'll be back in a week? We'll be back in a week. Don't worry about it. You good. Well, I won't even give it a week. We'll be back by Wednesday at the latest. Go ahead, enjoy your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll be back. And they all looked at me like their feelings were really hurt because I didn't give them a hug and say goodbye. Why should I? Right? Because y'all know what I did. I just told you what I did. So we leave Saturday night. Monday morning, Lisa gives me a call and she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. You wouldn't believe what just happened. I got a call back from, the new career that she wanted to go into, which was real estate. She was like, I got a call back and they offered me a job. Like, I've been doing all the training. I've been doing all this, all that, yada, yada, yada. And I've been working with someone and they're actually giving me my own office. And they're this, like, she is hype, excited. And she's like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. She said, I don't even want the job that they offered me at the hospital. And I'm like, oh, so they did offer you a job at the hospital? And she's like, yeah, they offered me the pharmacy manager job of the outpatient pharmacy, but I don't want it. So I told them that they need to give it to Bob, that Bob does this and that. And he is the one that comes up with all of with everything you're supposed to do. And it works out, yada, 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 yada. So they're going to call him and give it to him. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So I congratulate her on hers. And she was like, now I put in a word for you, okay? It should be a position for you and for Tiffany. I'm like, okay, girl, I appreciate it. Well, so anyway, she gets off the phone. She's all excited about that. Sure enough, Monday afternoon, Bob called me. And he's like, hey. I'm like, what's up? He was like, they just called me and offered me the manager position of outpatient pharmacy. I'm like, oh, that's great. He's like, man, yes. He said, but I told them that I wasn't going to accept it unless I was able to bring you and Tiffany along, because I can't run nothing without y'all. Oh, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, but here's the thing. So there's some hours, right? He said, don't you prefer working overnight? I sure do. And he was like, oh, that's great. So you're cool with Tiffany having a day shift? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. And he's like, oh man, that's great. Okay, well, they'll be calling out soon. I promise you. Okay. Tuesday, me and Tiffany got the call. We were told about the hours, the pay, yada, yada, yada. And they asked us to report to work on Wednesday. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Like, if you got somebody in your corner that you know do work like this, okay? That you know do work like this. You have got to just get in with them, rub elbows with them, right? I'm not saying you got to kiss our feet or worship us or nothing like that. No, no, no. Just be a decent human being, okay? They were just decent human beings. They were very nice to me. They were very sweet to me. Even when they were having a bad day, they did not take it out on me. There were times where I came into work and they were like, oh man, I just feel so blah today. I'm just not feeling good today. I apologize if I seem snippy today. Like just giving me a heads up. And I completely understood because, come on, we're lifing, okay? Life will life. Life will do what life does, and not every day will be a good day. But because of that, I came in and I made sure that they were taken care of. Because again, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Now, I hope y'all enjoyed that story. The next story, as I said, I'm going to be flipping from like baneful work to positive workings. The next work is regarding that pharmacy department or the pharmacy department there at the hospital, but it's regarding an employee who was very rude, who was very nasty. She created a hostile work environment, and I had to go ahead and come after her. And because of someone that she was trying to pull in with her, this other lady almost caught a couple of strays. But I don't know. I guess her ancestors or Jesus Christ or Allah or whoever she worships or honors was like, you know what, baby, we just gonna go ahead and move you out the way because you gonna mess around and get hurt. So that will be the next story. I'm going to try to go ahead and drop it tomorrow because I got enough stories where I could like do one every single day. So I'm going to try to drop it tomorrow. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed this. What I will do in the description, I'll probably type in more detail the spell work that I did, like how I did it, the type of prayers that I did while, the candles were working and things of that nature. Just so that, if you want to bless yourself or bless someone else, you can, right? All right. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed this story. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, all that other stuff that everybody else on here tell you to do. I want you to do it, okay? So go ahead and, leave me a nice comment below and I will try my best to respond. I should be able to. I ain't doing nothing else today but eating and going to sleep. So again, thank you for listening to the story and y'all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.